The Trump-Russia collusion myth was epic. It was a 2-year wild goose chase that was based on zero evidence. It engulfed the anti-Trump media into peddling nonsense that, again, had zero evidence. There was nothing concrete about it. It was just an echo chamber from which millions of voices could vent about the results of the 2016 election. Well, that's too bad. Liberal America couldn't deal because they're petulant children, entitled to the principle that only they can win elections. Donald Trump punched them in the mouth. This whole charade was based on a piece of politically biased opposition research compiled by Christopher Steele, a former MI6 operative. Fusion GPS hired Steele after the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democrats retained their services. Fusion is a research firm. They tasked him with finding dirt on Trump. He ended up pretty much being a soundboard for Russian misinformation. The dossier was not verified to the degree where it could raise questions to its credibility and accuracy. There are oodles of errors, and it was cited as credible evidence in the FBI's FISA spy warrant against Carter Page, a former Trump campaign official. Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz's report noted 17 times the FBI omitted or altered information that would have cleared Page. This is serious stuff. Someone needs to be fired. It speaks to everything that's been alleged about biased government officials running their own agendas, the deep state, and bias against this administration. And the Department of Justice Inspector General report once again delivered a kill shot to the Trump dossier's legitimacy, the first being the report filed by ex-special counsel Robert Mueller, who looked into Russian collusion and found nothing. And there was the crossfire circus that was born out of this Russian collusion mess. The FBI sent operatives to glean information from 3 Trump campaign officials, Sam Clovis, Carter Page, and George Papadopoulos, the latter of which has a rendezvous with the mysterious Azra Turk who was dispatched by the FBI to oversee this spying operation, which already had Stephen Halper trying to obtain information from Trump officials without them knowing it, but this isn't spying, according to the liberal media. It's just a bunch of people trying to get information from others under false pretenses. I mean, the New York Times pretty much described the spy operation without saying it was a spy operation back in May of 2018. The conversation at a London bar in September 2016 took a strange turn when the woman sitting across from George Papadopoulos, a Trump campaign advisor, asked a direct question: was the Trump campaign working with Russia? The woman had set up the meeting to discuss foreign policy issues. But she was actually a government investigator posing as a research assistant, according to people familiar with the operation. The FBI sent her to London as part of the counterintelligence inquiry opened that summer to better understand the Trump campaign's links to Russia. The American government's affiliation with the woman, who said her name was Azra Turk, is one previously unreported detail of an operation that has become a political flashpoint in the face of accusations by President Trump and his allies that American law enforcement and intelligence officials spied on his campaign to undermine his electoral chances. Last year, he called it Spygate. The decision to use Turk in the operation aimed at a presidential campaign official shows the level of alarm inside the FBI during a frantic period when the Bureau was trying to determine the scope of Russia's attempts to disrupt the 2016 election, but could also give ammunition to Mr. Trump and his allies for their spying claims. Turk went to London to help oversee the politically sensitive operation, working alongside a longtime informant, the Cambridge professor Stephen Halper. The move was a sign that the Bureau wanted in place a trained investigator for a layer of oversight, as well as someone who could gather information for or serve as a credible witness in any potential prosecution that emerged from the case. People's reputations were destroyed. The nation was plunged into partisan-driven paranoia and lunacy by Democrats. The FBI abused the FISA process by citing a fake dossier. Something needs to happen at FISA for sure, but Attorney General William Barr, who is still investigating the origins of this Russia collusion theater, also said that he and FBI Director Chris Wray are discussing ways to make sure if this situation should arise again and that there is legitimate evidence of possible coordination between a presidential campaign and a foreign government, there would be a little more vetting and processes of authorization of such an investigation, namely that the FBI Director and Attorney General would have to sign off on it. In Washington Examiner, Attorney General William Barr revealed that he and FBI Director Christopher Wray agreed that, in the future, agents must get approval from the heads of the Director of Justice and the Bureau before launching investigations into presidential candidates. Barr told reporters, "We're considering a number of additional things, and Chris Wray and I have discussed a number of possibilities. One of the things that we have agreed on is that the opening of a counterintelligence investigation of a presidential campaign would be something that the director of the FBI would have to sign off on and the Attorney General would have to sign off on. Before now, no such green light from agency leaders was needed.